Of course, you're muted. Trial and error. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Some of my favorite questions that I have received since I have started doing this vlog content on this channel is things like, what's the camera that you use, the microphone that I use, like how does it feel like vlogging this type of content inside restaurants? And if any of you lovelies can please indicate to me in the chat if you can hear me, just in case, that would be fantastic. I think you guys can hear me now, just in case. It's trial and error. I have not done a live stream in quite a little bit of time. And this is one topic I definitely wanted to cover because I thank you. Awesome. Thank you guys. So, with this topic on hand, the thing is, I could have made this into a video, but I decided that it's just not as suited towards my channel as I wanted. So, what better than to be able to connect with you guys amongst the live stream? We have the chat going inside the house right now, so I love this. Live streams are definitely something that I vibe a lot. It gives me the chance to connect with you. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. It gives me the chance to connect with all of you guys, for you guys to ask questions, us to engage together. And I mean, overall, this is a community here amongst this channel that I found. So I am more than happy to do a live stream about this content. So with that being said, we're going to be covering the whole topic about vlogging when you're doing food deliveries, because I can see that there's a few people in the house. One of them I know for sure, which Zach drives fast. He's a content creator just like myself. We vlog food delivery, but I've been getting some more questions about the fact of the gear and how is it being on camera. Because let me share some things with you guys. For anybody, rather watching live or on the replay, if you want to get into the content, especially if you're watching on the replay, that is, but if you want to get into the content about the actual gear and everything else, just give me a few minutes. If you want to skip on through once you get to that part, then we'll be talking about it. But I want to share a little bit about my background here with you guys, but as well, connect with those in the chat. So this is my very first vlog style channel. I've never done a vlog style channel before. Super brand new into the mix. I'm not exactly new to YouTube. I have a previous channel that I used to do, and then I dipped out of that into this one. So vlogging, you could totally tell by my very first vlog video that I have on this channel, was super new to the mix. So yeah, it's been an adjustment. It takes time, and we're going to go through some things. But first of all, I do want to address some people here. So right off the bat, we had Zach that came in first, which was right here. Zach drives fast. We got Brian in the mix. I mean, it's always great to see some people in the community. I cannot pronounce your name. I'm not even going to try. You got Isan in the house, or maybe goes by Samir. How's it going, Samir? Great to have you here. Rodney's in the house. We got Laura. Yes, Laura, it has been a very long time. I'm super glad that you can be here with us. And one of my personal favorites, I can't lie, I got Spoke in the house. Like, I'm always happy, Spoke, when you're here. It's been forever. And with these live streams, my live streams would not be complete without you, my friend. And you know that. You know that's the truth, because me and Spoke go pretty far back now. So let's talk a little bit about how the whole gear aspect works when it comes to live streams, because not live streams. Wow, vlogging. Wow, I'll get my train of thought, guys. It's been a busy day. But when it comes to doing vlog style videos, because when you're on the go, there's so many options. And first of all, I don't want to default to just like gear that you can purchase. I want to say this. Anybody can start vlogging from their phone. My phone's on charge right now, so I'm not going to whip it out and knock things over. But anybody can start this type of content by their phone. The only reason why I don't vlog with my phone directly is because for anybody that watches my videos, I like to do screen recording, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more later on. So I can't possibly be doing screen recording and record myself directly. So that's why I go with something like a camera. So we're going to talk more about the camera gear options that you can utilize when it comes doing your vlog style videos, because there's endless choice. And I do want to say far most, please always go with your cell phone first, because a lot of us in the gig economy, we will do gig work to make either ends meet, or it's because of the fact it's a full-time job. For some of us, like myself, it's for savings. And so we don't want to be dipping in the pocket to be vlogging our videos, but we got the urge that we want to record. So I would say this much. My recording started on a whim. If anybody watches her, and she already knows that I'd be mentioning her, not in the live stream, but I talked to her separately, Right Along with Brie. Right Along with Brie is one of the very first vloggers that I started to watch when it came to these type of videos, the gig economy videos. And she is super, super energetic, which is something I kinda am, depends on my day of the week. But it really I thought to myself, "Okay, this is something that I could do." So, to any of my gig workers, especially Zach, I would love to know, who was probably the very first person that you started to watch in the gig economy that started to vlog that either might have made you want to vlog, or it's just inspired you with vlogging? Because mine was Right Along with Brie. Hey Shane, welcome to the mix. Yes, we're back. We're back. I didn't forget you, my friend. And thank you for that spoke. I always appreciate that. Thank you so much. So yeah, mine was Right Along a Brie. She uses her cell phone for recording from what I can see. I never asked her if she uses any type of gear. There is quite a few other creators that I have followed. For example, Mushi Moo. I have followed him for a long time. Personality is definitely a very strong personality, and that's why he gets his views. I can totally see that. But him, what's unique is that it's either an Insta 360 or he's using a GoPro on his head that he's using his for his vlogging. So it's creators like that that have got me super pumped to start doing this type of content. And for me, because like I just said, I use my cell phone for screen recording, I do use a different camera setup for the vlogging. So the camera that I'm using right here in front of me is the camera that I use for vlogging. And that camera happens to be the one at the top. No, wait, we got this. The top right here. It's the Canon M50. Nowadays market, you can find the Canon M50 Mark II. And for anybody looking for any one of these products, they will be listed in the description below. So if you wanted to check it out, they're all Amazon links. And I will say, to be transparent, if you click on them and you do purchase, especially if you're Canadian, not actually if you're in the US, but if you are in Canada and you click on the link and you purchase it, at no cost to you will I be benefiting with commission paid out to me by Amazon. Not that you have to, you can get your gear from whenever you want. Now, the Canon EOS M50 is the camera that I use. The difference is the lens that is on the camera right now, and let me just pop this down because that's annoying. The lens that I use currently right there, that is my Sigma lens. So that's a Sigma 30mm lens, and that is not what I'm going to recommend for content creations for vlogging. The reason why is because if you look into my setup currently right now, this camera is stationed for this specific setup. But this lens itself, when you're vlogging and it's super close to your face, it's really zoomed in. So when you get the Canon M50, it actually comes with the kit lens. So it's a 15 to 45 millimeter lens, and all you got to do is turn the dial, and you can switch your dial to whatever you want. Apparently, I don't know how to turn it. Oh, left, right, of course. I use it daily, but sometimes I just don't know. So you just turn your dial so that which zoom that you want it in, so you can go less or more. I tend to keep it on the 15, and I'm really just good to go. If it's not that lens in place, there are different lenses that you can choose from or switch it up. Shane says, I have the Canon M50, still haven't used it. Oh, you're missing out, my friend. It's my favorite camera. Although, we're going to talk about another one. Hey, Patrick. Nice to have you here. I caught your most recent video, so that's always cool. Again, for anybody who's watching this on the replay, I will touch base with my chat. The chat is where it's at, and I would not be doing these live streams if I wasn't speaking with these guys, so don't mind the delay. Tamsin, welcome. Welcome into the mix. We got Kevin as well. This is really cool. Awesome. Brian says, I'm a hobbyist photographer, so I am quite knowledgeable about this stuff. And if that's the case, Brian, you would know too that for vlogging, this would be easy for people, right? Now, there is a problem though with the Canon M50, even if it's the M50 original, which is what I have, super old school, or if it's the Mark II, they're pretty much becoming obsolete. So that's why I put the second camera on the bottom. If I'm going to be talking about recommendations, and I want to state here, I am not a pro vlogger. I've been at this now going on 4 months onto this channel. I like to say I have some experience of vlogging since I've been doing it. It's your comments that have given me the motivation and the encouragement to do this. So that's why I'm talking about it. But I'm no way a vlogging pro. Everybody's going to have difference of opinion. But the next one down below is actually the Sony ZV-E10. And the reason why I would choose the 10 is there's two models. There's the ZV-1 and there's the 10. Now with the 1, you cannot change the lens on the camera. And that one's important to me because the lens is in my hand and another lens is on my camera. Versus the ZVE10 rather. That one is an interchangeable lens. So this lens in that picture does come off of the camera. So if you want more of a custom style lens, you can get yourself set up with them. So we got some highs going on in the chat. And Zach says that I want the ZVE10. Yes. So that, for example, if you do get set up, for example, with live streaming, Zach, and you want to be even more comfortable, I don't like to live stream with this lens. The reason why is it shows all my background, not the kind of setup I want people to see. This is also the same lens that I do use when I make my videos that are sit-down videos. But when I'm on the go, I go with this one. So if you go with the Sony ZVE10, it's interchangeable lens, so you can do the exact same thing. This one was a $400 Canadian lens that I upgraded to afterwards. But for the price of the camera, the Sony ZVE10, the one that I linked in the description below, it's with the kit lens included, so you don't have to buy a secondary lens. Sony A6000 series are great cameras for vlogs. Flip screens helps. Yes, I have been super interested in the 6000 series. Unfortunately, I only showed the 2 cameras just because if I had to say in comparison, Canon M50, what's their competition? I went with one direct camera, but I do like where you're going at. The 6100, you can get the 6000, 62, 63, and 64 are the most common ones. I want to use a camera for taking nature videos. Video ducks, geese, eagles. What lens should I use for the M50? Well, I mean, if it becomes something more like nature, I'm going to get Brian in the chat to chime in about this because he takes photography of birds and such all the time. With the M50, the problem with this actual camera is a lot of the lenses are becoming more obsolete because it uses a special EFM mount lens. And there's less of those made nowadays compared to the newer, different types of cameras. So if you already have the existing one, I'm not going to say something like the 30 or just the 16 standalone lens because those lenses, they're not adjustable for the scope to go outward, so you can get more of a zoomed in focus. So I can't really comment too much about that, Shane, because I'm a little tech savvy, but not completely tech savvy, but I hope that helps. And I appreciate that, Spoke. That's awesome. Might need to give the ZV-10 a go. It's optional to anybody that wants to get a camera. If I was to get either another camera or you told me today, which one would I swap out my M50 for? Hands down, the 10, the E10. Yes. Are you having supply issues in Canada with camera also? I have not checked recently. It could be, but not that I have seen. No, I could probably go out to Best Buy tomorrow and get the camera that I'm searching for. But I do find here, especially in my market, the type of camera I'm looking for would be more selected. And Brian says I would go with the kit telephoto 55 to 200 millimeter or whatever distance they have. Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. And I know Brian talks about the zoom. No worries. I appreciate that, Kevin. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? It's been a while. I'm happy to have you here, my friend. All right, so let's talk about another camera that comes into focus. And this one is my personal favorite because it's not just the front-facing camera. So if you want to use a front-facing camera, you can do something like your cell phone, selfie mode, that works. Although I will say this, selfie mode is not the best friend. And please, if you are recording videos for YouTube, I see this too much. If you're vlogging your videos, especially if you're doing front-facing, I'm going to use my GoPro as example. If your phone is facing, horizontally, that's what you want. If it is vertical rather, that's not what you want. And the reason for that is because of the dimensions of the video. It will actually film it like a YouTube Shorts video versus a full dynamic. So as you can see right now, my picture of my whole live stream right now, it's full. But if you start recording your videos vertically, it won't be. It's going to crop. Newer cameras probably will have supply issues due to keeping up chip productions. I agree with that. Definitely. Awesome. So we got some good communication happening there in the chat. I love this. It's been so long. So you guys probably got a sneak peek of the next camera that I'm going to talk about. You can either go with the GoPro or you can go with something with an Insta360. But why would you go with these two selected cameras? Let's switch it to here because I can hold my GoPro as I talk at the same time. The advantage of these is when you are shooting vlog style videos, first of all, I want to say no way is a bad way. Rather you're doing sit down in your car and you just want to talk about things, rather you want to show content, whatever it may be, your way is the best way. And as a vlogger, you will get used to what's the best style for you. But if you want to show things like the scenery, let's say the restaurants or, just your travels alone. When I'm in my car and I'm shooting the street footage of me driving to some location, I use my cell phone for that. I put it in horizontal mode. I get my picture. But when I'm in the stores or restaurants, I can't be doing that. So something like a GoPro or an Insta360 work perfect for that. I remember when I started ride-alongs, my camera was flipped the wrong way and it made it look like the steering wheel was on the other side. I have to be careful with that when I'm using my cell phone, Zach, because what ends up happening is because of the fact that I have a cell phone holder, if it's pivoted too much to this side, it's where my mirror is and it gets the mirror in the picture. So yes, that does happen. Definitely happens. This is why it definitely takes some time to get used to when it comes to vlogging. But if you do want to have some content inside the stores, why would you want something like a GoPro? First of all, I'm actually going to show this for demonstration, but it's going to come back in 2 minutes. Oh, whoops. Let's get rid of this Insta360. Okay, so we got the GoPro. I'm going to turn it on, and it's going to beep. Once it beeps, my screen is going to turn on, and you can see it right now. Now, I actually have my memory card out, so silly me, should probably put that in. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to do the demonstration that I want. But basically, what I'm going to get at is your screen gives you some privacy after a while. So Zach drives fast, and I talk all the time outside of YouTube. And he knows that this small little GoPro, as great as it has one downfall. This screen itself, there we go. I'm all ready to go, guys. It's not the screen itself, but right up here, and it's because I'm on manual focus, so you might not see it. Right up here, typically, is a little red light. And I have electrical tape over that. There we go. And I'm going to press record. And there's a reason why I'm going to press record on this. And, of course, my GoPro doesn't want to record. It's frozen. Oh, I think it's in picture mode. No, it's just completely frozen. We might want to reevaluate GoPros. But because of the fact that it has a little red light on it, the thing is that needs to be blocked up, because if not, when you are doing your recordings or your vlogging on the go, unfortunately, I have been stopped once because of that the person in the restaurant was questioning the fact that I had a little red light on the camera. So that became very insufficient for me. And it's kind of scary when people want to question the type of camera that you currently have. By the way, I've never had this freeze before, so that was a first. There we go. So now it's recording. So you can't see in the front now the red light that it's recording, but I can see it in the back. But what's the advantage about the GoPro, and I'll show it in a moment, is about 2 minutes from now, this LED screen will be black. So when I am vlogging on the go and I'm going into the restaurants, I mean, it's not to be secretive, but I want to be as discreet as possible, because the one thing with many of us vloggers, especially when you first starting out, is you don't really like to be seen with the GoPro. It's a little weird. As Zach says, you kind of want to go into incognito mode. I agree. I rather not for it to be shown, but I've had it shown before. But it's just, I don't know. When I've been asked about the GoPro, I normally will say that it's for security purposes because I'm still transitioning into it. But what I love about the GoPro is this screen will go idle when it hits the 2 minute mark. So I'm in my car and I'm used to the sound effects. So I know one beep means that the camera is recording. 2 beeps means that the camera goes on, and like 4, it goes beep, beep, beep. So that's 3 beeps means that my camera goes off. So what I tend to do, and I can't say it's the same for the Insta360. I've never tried out this camera. What I like about it is it's more condensed than this one. But what I can't say about the whole camera itself is that, does the camera screen come on? Does it have a notification? A lot of them that I do see is the white one a lot in the market, especially in Canada here. But what I love about my GoPro is it is a black screen. You will notice in all my videos, I hate that I have to do it this way, but it's because I'm just not used to it yet, is I do wear black clothing. And that is by choice because this way I can hide my GoPro a little bit smoother and not have to worry about it showing too much. And thanks for coming by, Patrick. I appreciate that. Yeah, so it is a good idea because now look, it's off. You don't see anything, but it's still recording. It is still recording currently. I can see, you see the little light on this side? That's on my side. So if you have it over your chest, what I do is I have it over and I try to make sure I'm wearing a jacket, and then I can hover it over. And this is not to be secretive. It's to make me feel better because I'm not used to, till this day, having a GoPro attached to me. Yes, that's ninja mode. Exactly. It is pretty cool. So it is still currently recording right now, as you can see. When it froze like that, I just took out the battery and put it back in and it was fine. But as you can see, it's currently off right now. It is still recording, but nobody can see it. This one is the GoPro Hero 9, and I only linked the GoPro Hero 9 into my description because I'm familiar with it. The audio on this thing's pretty good, but I don't have the media pod because I don't record the audio from it. Metal Gear levels of camouflage. It's true, right? It's so true. But with the Insta360, if you wanted a different choice, that's the other camera because that one's actually smaller than a GoPro. It's more like this. It's more slick. But I've seen them mostly in the white. So if I'm going to get the white, that means I have to get the casing to make it black. And I don't know if it's going to show a recording button. Hey, Brett. Hey, how's it going, my friend? Glad to have you here. So it doesn't wake up after a while. No, what happens, Brian, is the only thing I know with the GoPro, and it's never happened to me before, but some people have complained about footage being removed. I have never had my GoPro have footage be removed, but what it does is it breaks it up in 15-minute intervals. So after that, if this camera does get hot, let me tell you that. It does. I should stop recording, eh? There you go. Now it's back on. So this camera does get hot after a while, but after the battery dies, it will beep at you 3 times to tell you that it's doing this, powering off, and then it will just go off. So, but I have a backup battery for my GoPro. Yes, Zach, mine has overheated, but not in the sense that I've lost any footage. I have never lost any footage on my GoPro. My only sense is that it's overheated because, hey, Ken, welcome to the mix. Glad to have you here. With the GoPro itself, what it has done is it has overheated before, and you just feel it's really, really hot. And then what it does is, let's say I'm doing 29 minutes worth of footage, it'll break it down into 2 different scenes. The annoying part, though, is when you go to upload your footage to your editing software, very often the footage number, because everything has a number when you upload them. So let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, bracket 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, bracket 2. So the problem is I don't know which ones start and finish, so I kind of have to dissect the footage. But I have never lost any of my footage from a GoPro. I know people have complained about that, but I think they fixed that with the Hero 9. I've heard that was a huge problem with the Hero 7, and it does become a little hot tamale after a while. I have felt it on my chest before when it gets hot, but I've never lost any content, and it still ends up going. I end up taking the memory card out of my GoPro every time because of what you're referring to. So far, hey, CJ, happy to have you here. That's awesome. So far, the memory card, which I literally just took that out before, which I actually wanted out again. I haven't had any problems with it. It has not burnt. It has not given me any hassle. And it's not even the most expensive brand memory card that I do have. So I've been quite happy with how it is. Hey, Lisa, I'm super happy that you can come here. I always see you in the comments, and I truly appreciate. Damn, I'm not able to talk tonight. Seeing you here, that's awesome. But Brett, the reason why you take out the memory card, is it because it's scrapped your footage, or what happened there that made you choose to take that out? Because actually, Brett, you're bringing us on to the next subject, because the one thing I find that so many people talk about when it comes to being a content creator is they talk about the camera, or use your cell phone, or use a GoPro, or whatever it may be, but they don't talk about the fact that there's memory cards involved. So, Brett, I'm kind of happy you mentioned that, because when I first got my Canon M50, silly little me, I thought that something like that would be included. You would think it would be. With the price you're paying for these cameras nowadays, you would hope the manufacturers would include that into it. The only way that's included is sometimes there are some deals on Amazon that include it. In none of my links on my description does include an SD card, but I did include the SD card separately in the links of the description below. But it's like it's not something that's ever included. Everyone I know with the GoPro has overheating issues after a lot of use. Yes, I use it a lot. It does overheat, but I haven't had scrapped footage. I popped the card out and transfer files for the card versus while connected to the camera. There was an issue with overheating and memory cards. Okay, I see. So let me show you how I do it. So first of all, the most important part when it comes to memory cards, because you got to know the manufacturers like to rob our money, right? The Canon M50 and the GoPro do not use the same SD card. Okay, and I'm just letting that know. Maybe to some that's like, okay, that's obvious because of the size different, but it might not be for some. The Canon M50 uses a regular standard SD card, something of this size. Your GoPro, hopefully I don't drop this bad boy. This is the size of my GoPro memory card. Huge difference. Now, what I do for my footage of the GoPro is, by the way, this is the casing for it, is when you get a micro SD card, this is a micro, this is a standard. When you get a micro SD card, my easiest way for the footage, I take it out the GoPro, I slide it right into my standard disk, and I insert it into my laptop, and that's how I upload my footage. Maybe that's why I haven't had any issues with it. Oh, Lisa, very cool. So Lisa says, I just got my GoPro for my channel. That's awesome. Lisa, which version of the GoPro did you get, and what size memory stick? Because for me, I found that I have no choice but to go to, thank you for coming by, Aaron, that I had to go with 128 gig. And the reason for this is because if you're in a restaurant, for example, and you're filming consecutively, then let's say you're in there, I don't know, for 40 minutes. 40 minutes on a GoPro, that memory stick gets taken up. So when I show that it's a SanDisk Ultra 128, this one is not a SanDisk. Wow. It's a Lexar, but they're pretty much the same. If I could have got the SanDisk, I would, because I have more trust factor, because that's what's in my Canon M50. The 170 64 gig that you're seeing for the standard SD card, that is what I have in the Canon M50. But I find that I can get so much more memory card with a standard memory card on a standard camera. But these action cameras, I find they take so much gig memory super, super fast. I don't have a secondary SD card if this one fails. I truly, truly don't. But it has never failed on me so far. And because it is 128 gigs, it works very well. Do you have a preference with quality choice for recording? So which one do you mean by that, Brian? So by preference of quality choice, you're talking about like which one do I prefer to record with, my GoPro or my M50? Because if so, 100% my M50. I wish that I was brave enough to just go into the restaurant and record with the M50, honestly, but it's too big and bulky. But, you know, it is what it is. That impacts the size of the video record. I still say the M50 because the size of the recording, I can get so much more out of my M50 than I can out of my GoPro. And Lisa also, I just got the 9 and it'll come with a 64 gig, but I have another one coming. Good idea. When you're on the go, bring the second one. You will need it. I'm sorry, guys. My hair is bugging me tonight. You will need it because it's definitely something that is used. I take the footage off the same way as you and never any issues. The 128 cards were causing the camera to only record about 8 minutes before shutting down. The firmware updated has fixed it. Yeah, I've never updated my GoPro since I had it. So the funny thing about my GoPro is I had it for probably 6 months before I ever utilized it, and then I've only ever used it amongst this channel. Anybody that followed my last channel pretty much knows that. Yeah, so the 1080 to 60, you can set up profiles in the GoPro in different situations, different settings, etc. Yes, so I agree with you, Brett. And yes, Brian, I record in 1080p. I have mine on 1080p and I have it on activity mode. And the reason why I choose for activity footage is because when I'm walking around here with the GoPro on, I don't know if it's going to show it since I took the SD card out. But as I'm walking around here with the GoPro on, there we go. 180. I have my, where is it here? I got my 180. I got my frames per second at 50. I have it. I don't have it on the narrow view. We have different ones. It's the linear view. I have hyper smooth boost on. So what's really cool about a GoPro, hey, Guillaume, thanks for stopping by, man. Guillaume is somebody that also lives in Quebec here with me. We work together. He is a gig worker for all the same ones that I do, just he doesn't record, and we talk daily. He is the one, QT is GT rather. Huh, no, Guillaume, I'm not being sweet to you just because we're friends. Guillaume is the one that gives me a lot of those screen shares of a lot of his Instacart ones. So yeah, on the GoPro, Brett, I'm on 1080, but I'm on 60. I have my boost on because what's really cool about the GoPro is it has its own gimbal inclusive. Like, it's not the same as taking my cell phone and putting it on a gimbal that's going to cost me an arm and a leg versus the GoPro. You just get whatever tripod if you want to put it on a tripod and you just go about. My favorite feature with the GoPro is, unlike Moosey Moo, who uses a head strap, which I have one. My head strap I utilize on the passenger side of my seat in my early videos when I was showing the footage inside my car. But now I use the chest strap because I got used to being inside the restaurants doing so. So I can't really, it's super hard and annoying to utilize both because on the bottom of the GoPro, it has these teeth pegs, which are super easy to adapt an additional, like a tripod. But it's really annoying to go from head strap, chest strap, especially when we're trying to get orders done. So I decided to pick my battle and just simply use the chest strap. But what I did is I got some super cheap accessories, which no, are not linked in the description. Have fun finding them. But I found it was like a kit from Amazon. It's like 25 pieces. And that's where I got the head strap. It's where I got the chest strap. It's where I got my selfie stick or tripods that I can always utilize for the GoPro. They're super, super cool. I should work at Best Buy, right, CJ? They should commission me. Too bad most of my money goes to Amazon. Seriously. Like the next thing that I'm going to talk on the docket. Now, I'm going to say this can go on a GoPro, but I do not use a media pod. So the one thing that is super important when it comes to vlogging our content is, even though for vlogging this type of content, most people want to see what's happening, right? Well, a lot of people just listen in because a lot of people like to listen to things like podcasts. So you never know if you're going to treat your video like a podcast. And because of that, you need to have a microphone. Now, you can go with a wireless lav, or you can go with a wired lav. And yes, I agree 100%. You need to search for GoPro accessories if you're looking for exactly what you want when it comes to a GoPro. Now, I use a Lavailer mic. I don't have it with me here for some reason. I didn't unpack it. But I have a lav mic, and it's as simple as exactly what you see with inside this picture right here. It's a clip-on lav mic. You can tend to see it in every single one of my videos. The difference is right now, because of the fact, thank you, CJ. Because of the fact that I'm doing this sit-down live stream, I am strapped to a sit-down microphone. So this is different. This type of quality audio is not the same. Thank you so much, Shane. This type of audio is definitely not the same whatsoever, but a lav mic, as the audio that you hear in my videos on most days, is from a lav mic like that. The advantage about getting a lav mic is this one, and I linked it in the description because I've used it. I have it. I've had 2 of them. It is the PowerDeWise microphone. And what I really do appreciate, and I'm not sugar talking or sweetening it up but it's cheap. I think I paid between $40 for it Canadian. Remember, I'm in Canada. I know many of you guys actually are in Canada. So because of that, mine is more expensive. Hey, Alan, thanks for coming in. I know who you are. I see you in the comments all the time. I appreciate it. But this lav mic itself, it comes for about $40. But what's really nice about it is it comes with a 3.5 pin, which is compatible to my Canon M50. And it also gives me, oh, what is the name for this, guys? You guys must know it. It's the little dummy wire that goes into the cell phone that allows you to make the lav compatible to the cell phone. So I use that. So if I need to vlog on my cell phone, I can use the audio. And then lastly as well, if you need to use the audio inside your GoPro, the GoPro does not have just an external mic area where you can put one. So you have to buy the media mod, but if you have the media mod, which is about $100 Canadian, then you can attach a lav mic towards it. Brian says shotgun mics do not single out and can pick up other noise. Yes, and when I had to improvise in one of my videos, I used my shotgun mic. It was a Deity D4 Duo. I don't like shotgun mics. With shotgun mics, it's exactly like Brian is saying. It does pick up background noise. And the one thing about us gig workers is we're often in the car. Either the AC's on, sometimes the window's down if we're talking. And oh, I noticed your mention above there, Zach. I'll get to that in a second. But with everything that goes on around us, you don't really want to go with the shotgun mic because it can really impact things. That's something with paying up for IMO. That one I have is garbage. I have to make massive EQ corrections to make it sound remotely decent. And that's the thing. I have been through lav mics before. Never had IMO before. Never even heard of that. I don't want to go with the most expensive lav mic because you never know if it's going to work or not. But what I really love about this is, worth. Okay. What I really like about this is it's compatible for all three of my devices. So if I'm going to pay for something, I want it that's compatible. What's the downside of the one that I'm posting? It's the fact that it makes you feel like you're on a leash. But do I care in this type of a video at this moment about having the wire coming down me? No, it goes down and it goes up towards my M50 camera, which you guys see, it's mounted on my dashboard of my car, and it's not a big deal. And when you guys see me doing a double take, sometimes in my videos you see the GoPro, and I still have this blocking when I'm trying to annotate. You got the GoPro and then you got my camera. So sometimes I'm filming from both and you're hearing the audio that's staying consistent. That is because I'm using the audio from the Canon M50, which comes from my lav mic, and I strip my audio from my GoPro. That's something you can use editing techniques to do, but it's pretty useful instead of getting another mic that's going for a GoPro and strapping that to your chest. So that's what I choose to do. But audio is definitely key because you never know when you're vlogging if there's somebody that's watching your videos, but they have to attend to something and they want to keep your video on because the audio is good. Well, you've kept their engagement going. If your audio is bad, they're just going to click off the video, even if vlogs are cool to watch. And then we have two more simple ones for gear, and then we're going to move on with the topic of gear. I think this one is pretty self-explanatory for any of us gig workers, and I don't know one that does not have it. It's a cell phone holder. Cell phone holder. I'll get it one day. Now, this is the one that I use, and I will just say this. You can go with anyone that you want. Absolutely anyone that you want. But the advantage of this one is the fact that this one for me has the ball joint on it. And what I really like about that is I can easily pivot my phone from horizontal to vertical, up, down, out, forward, whatever I want because of the ball joint. So I linked that one down in the description below. This one I have, mine is suction cup to the window. I don't put it on the dash. I don't know why, but I haven't. But it's multi-universal, so you can put it on the dash, you can use it up on the window. But I don't really know anybody that's a gig worker that doesn't have one, but I just thought that I'd mention it. And maybe that would help some people. I don't know. I heard so many things about mobile lav mics, Brian. I've heard a lot of good things about it. One of my friends told me that I should dip into it, but I already got the PowerDeWise and I just stuck with it. I have also heard that the Yeti lav mic, which is wireless, 169 US, that is a great choice. I do want to upgrade to wireless. I do. But I'm also a big believer, if it's not broken, why fix it? So, there's only one in this chat that I know so far that is currently monetized and making money. So they might want to buy a wireless one in the future, but it's not myself. So if I was monetized and things were going towards that direction, yeah, I would totally take the money, reinvest it into the gear or whatnot, and go that route. And Alan says I use IATI. That's pretty cool. I've never heard of that brand either. IATI dashboard. I've never heard of that brand. That's pretty cool. I need a car cell phone holder. Yes, you do, Brian. Hands-free is the way to go. And for us gig workers, there's nothing easier than just putting our cell phone that is mounted to the car suction cup and just doing our thing, because especially when you're recording. Yeah, you knew it, Zach. Zach says I need a GoPro first. Yes, priority is key. And because you're already making content and your audio actually sounds really good, Zach. So even though you have so much to do in post when you edit in post, yeah, I would say go with the GoPro first, because being a GoPro user, I would have, that's a tough decision though. Which one would I want more? Would I want to go? Well, okay, I got a wired lav mic, so I'm fine. But which one would I go with more? A wireless. There we go. Again, I'm blocking myself. Guys, I'm a righty normally, but I'm always left here because there's so much space in this dynamic. I would go with the GoPro first, Zach. You're right, because you already have a wired microphone. So if that's what works and you're editing in post, then I would go for it. I am headed in that direction. Until monetization happens, though, I am not going to invest into additional gear. And I always encourage the people that if you have gear that works for you, keep at it, because gear is expensive. And if you can get away, for example, starting off doing these vlogs by your cell phone, getting used to the camera, and you just have just simple a wired mic, I think that's a really, really good start. If you can do two cell phones, like let's say a super old one, maybe for screen recording or something. But then I always think about the fact that if I'm doing something like that, if I'm using an old camera in order to record myself front facing, the camera source might be more old school. So I don't think the quality is going to be as nice. Or you can use an old cell phone for screen recording. But then I think about the fact that you need a data plan to do the screen recording because the apps involve data. So I've thought to myself, which one is more better for people? And I guess it depends on the quality of the footage. I don't want 720p on my footage. I much rather 1080, but everybody's different. I mean, it changes from time to time. Okay, that's very cool. So you got it from Walmart. I get a lot of the stuff from Walmart. The problem with Walmart is, honestly, I find Amazon has better quality than Walmart most days. But I love Walmart because I can go out, I can get it, and it's cheap and it does work. The last one, a piece of gear here, guys. This one every single gig worker knows about. I don't even think this one needs to be really, really mentioned, but there is no way that you can survive recording your vlogs on the go, doing your whatchamacallit, your deliveries, and get your content done without a phone charger. That one's pretty much self-explanatory. What keeps your camera on the car dashboard? Oh, that's a good one, Zach. That one's a good one. I haven't been asked that before, and I've totally wanted to answer that question. Velcro strips. I went to the dollar store. We call it Dollarama here. I went to Dollarama and I bought these little tiny circle Velcro strips. And on the Canon M50, around the bottom part of it, to the right, like not in the middle because of, getting access to the batteries, I have a little Velcro strip. And then on the car, I have the other piece of the Velcro strip. So it's very small. And then I just go off on my adventures. Yes, Lisa, GoPro Hero 9. That's the one that I definitely use. There's a 9. I love the Hero 9. It's when I got it, it was last year when it was more newer. It was like $500 in Canada. So Canadian prices is way more expensive, I find, than the US. But I love it. Piece of advice for you, Lisa. Put a little piece of electrical tape over the red light. You're going to have to get used to the sound effect with the GoPro. But if not, it's going to flash red all the time. It will flash red. And when you go into the restaurants or anything, especially if you're wearing black, the red is going to shine like a beam of light. Everybody's going to be able to pick up on you. So let's go on to something else. And I think Zach can comment on this one. His channel has been around as long as mine has. So we've both been at this for about 4 months now. I think we literally started around probably the exact same week, to be honest. And there is something that you have to adjust to when you're on camera, regardless if you're vlogging on the go, doing live streams or videos for YouTube. Camera shyness. And yes, that is a picture of me holding the Canon M50 on a tripod, and I intentionally posed for that. If you want another one, there's another picture too. You got to get used to the camera shyness. And unfortunately, camera shyness only you got to make the content. It doesn't go away. It takes a lot of time. You might feel scripted, and you know what? If it helps to make script. If you got to do bullet points, do bullet points. But it is not something it's going to shake overnight. So the only way how to get over camera shyness, because we have to realize one thing is when we're making content, you are making yourself vulnerable to comments. You will get people that are going to say things. They're going to be positive. They're going to be negative. It's not going to go away. But the only way to get over that shyness is, I hate to sound like every other like YouTube guru, because that's not what this is about, but you literally have to press record and just rip off the Band-Aid. For me, the thing is about, it's different for me doing my sit-down videos versus my vlogs on the go. And the reason why is because honestly, and I don't know if this is the same thing for you, Zach, but I feel like I'm talking to friends when I'm in my car and I'm vlogging. And you lovelies watch my videos, so you guys can share if you feel that that's the same way when you see my videos. I am coming to terms with the fact that naturally I do swear a lot, but I try not to do that on YouTube. But I'm really trying to get even more comfortable with myself on camera. But that's what I try to do, is I truly just try to look at the camera and pretend like I'm talking to my friends, which is exactly what I'm doing even now. Live streams, sometimes you get nervous before a live stream. I wouldn't say I was nervous before this live stream, but there's still some prep that goes into it. And it's not always easy being on camera. I'm going to get comments that are going to be nice. I'm going to get comments that aren't going to be nice, and I got to accept that. But I find the best way is just pretend you're talking to somebody. And honestly, I don't feel like I'm doing my gig work alone. When I'm doing an Instacart order and I talk about that order that I just did and how I went to Walmart and how I picked up the delivery, and I'm sitting there and I'm getting those orders that are coming in and I'm talking about it on the camera, I truly don't feel alone. Brian says, I would feel awkward looking at an object and I feel I was talking to myself. Yeah, you know what's even worse, Brian, is when you're talking to the camera and you're midway into your video and the car pulls up beside you and they park the car and they get out and they're looking at you like, what the? This lady's talking to the camera on her dashboard. But that's what a vlogger does. A vlogger does go out and they have their camera on the go, and it is a little awkward. Zach says, I agree, Ash. I feel like I'm talking to people I know, because I kind of am. Yeah, when you're talking to people and they see it in the comments, you see their reaction in the comments and they're talking to you about it, it's super, super cool how they can relate to you, or they can build off of what you're talking about. But you're never going to build that experience. Yes, of course, Brian, totally thinking of you. You're never going to build that. It depends on the expressions that we're talking about. Brian and I joke a lot, but it all like, you're not going to gain that experience unless you just press the record and, feel like you're talking to Brian, for example. It's a whole nother dynamic. It does take time. I find it way easier. And I think Zach does the same thing too, because I watch Zach's content. I think I find it so much easier talking to the camera when I'm vlogging than I'm doing a sit-down video. Both Zach and I do sit-down videos, and we also do vlog-style videos. I find it personally way more easier for me to talk to you guys in a vlog, and of course, a live stream. I am comfortable with live streams. When it comes to sit-down videos, I find it's harder because I'm trying to get more of a principle and a concept out. That's why I didn't want to do this that way. Even though this is, it's 50 minutes I've been talking right now and it's a live stream, people can dissect things bit by bit afterwards in the live stream and see what they want to see on the replay. But when it comes to things like a small video, I feel more robotic. The first videos are going to be pretty bad, but they get much better as you get more confident. Absolutely, Zach, 110%. The confidence only going to come around when you start. And I think myself and Zach have seen so many gig workers that are super shy at first, and then they start to excel. There's so many of us that are doing this, and either if we want tips or whatnot on how to do it, we don't know. So we watch other gig workers. That's how I did it. I never got tips from any other gig workers. I just watched videos, thought to myself, okay, I can do this, and I'm going to put my spin on it. And one of the spins that I have, and this is optional, but I will highly encourage to anybody that's doing this gig work. Again, I'm not a pro, and my direction is not always the best direction. But I'm taking a guess. If somebody's watching this live stream, it's either one, because you want to connect in the chat, or two, maybe you do want some tips about this. But I am definitely somebody for, I was going to put this one, but that one came first. Screen capture. I love screen capture, and I am very unique on my channel for doing my cell phone with the continuous live recording screen capture. It's not always easy. It's kind of hard to edit and post sometimes. My editing software makes me switch it to 720p, and luckily it comes out nicely. But screen capture, I find, makes a huge difference, and I'll tell you why. Would you want to just hear me talk about the fact that I'm driving 9 kilometers for $18? Or would you rather see that on the screen? Regardless, if you're doing screen capture, it is very pretty, Zach. Regardless, if you are doing screen capture that is going to be happening of taking a picture or live recording, it is the nicest dynamic when we are watching this as gig workers to see what you're seeing. And the only way we can do it is when you're vlogging it. And I know it's a pain in the neck to do it because you have to get used to a camera in front of you. Now you record the screen. But what a lot of us people, especially if we're starting off new and we want to learn about how to do Instacart, how to do Uber Eats, DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, Grubhub, it doesn't matter which one. If we want to learn about it, we need to see the screen. And I know that it takes time. See it always. Yes, I do try to keep mine as consistent as I can. Now, I have had huge editing hiccups with screen recording. And that's because mine is consistent video. But let's say the screen is exactly what you're seeing right now. If I'm showing you the map and it's paused, and I show that on my screen for a long extent of time, it freezes my editing software, and then I can't save it, and I go through a lot of problems. But if you can put your snippet pictures of the screen, it makes a huge difference. No, Brett, no. At 1,000 subs, you have to go live from Walmart. I will never do a live stream inside anywhere. Come on. Yeah, I am not that much of a confident vlogger, my friend. Okay, so we gotta talk about something when you get to certain milestones that you're on your channel. I've never done a live stream on the go, and I probably will never do that. Okay, Zach, why don't you do that? Zach, when you get to 2K, Zach is at like I think 1,700 or something like that, maybe 18 now. 1,000 party at Walmart. No, we're gonna see what Zach's gonna do when he gets to his 2K. You can pop that in there. Hey, Grubby, how's it going? Grubby the Beagle is in the house. I see you everywhere. You're everywhere in the mix. But screen capture is super important. And that's just because some of us are visual versus audio people. And seeing is believing. Sometimes I don't believe that somebody's accepting some of these big, massive offers in comparison. So you just hit 100, Brett. Where are you going? Where are you going? And so because of that, we want to be able to see it. It makes a huge difference. But for myself, I know for a fact I prefer watching gig workers that show me what they're seeing, just because of the fact that it's such a beneficial thing. And I just want to take one quick second to say this because I'm at my laptop, and so I get emails that do come in. Thank you so much for that, Alan. I appreciate the buy me an extra tip or the buy me a coffee. That's very sweet of you. I never expect those to come in, but they're a blessing when they do come in. It's super nice. Actually, Brett, the one that's telling me about the fact that I got to do Walmart when I get to 1,000, he was one of my very first ever that I ever received a buy me a coffee from. So it's super cool. Thank you. You're doing a giveaway. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm connected on your channel, but when are you doing that? Would you ever think of adding a photo of a map in post edit. So the problem about the whole map scenario is it all depends on the map. So uh, are you just talking about the fact of a map of your location, Brian, or like a global map? Because the only bad part is you're putting yourself receptacle to people that could find out where you live. So it's really, really hard. I try to limit things when it's my screen sharing. Oh, that's cool. Soon I have a Star Wars figures I'm giving away. I loved. There's quite a few of them that you're doing. Brent has also started vlogging. Well, he's been vlogging for a little while now, and I find it super engaging. Maybe a screenshot of the Uber Eats order, but that's what I typically do. I kind of show the orders. The only thing I do is blur out the names. I do blur out the names. I show the orders that do come in, but I've never done one of me ordering off Uber Eats or such. But going into that whole, showing of the order, there's another one here, and it's pretty much the last one that I have here to cover these topics. You saw it before. It's respecting the privacy. I am all for showing maps. And this is not just for about the maps conversation. This is probably my most important tip when it comes to it. I probably should have done it at the beginning, but gear is more fun. This is my most important tip if you are going to start vlogging this type of content. It's privacy. It is okay if you're showing the customer's first name. But the reason why I started to edit that out more and more in my videos is if somebody is familiar, let's say with scenery, and I got my GoPro on and I'm recording their driveway as I'm walking up the stairs and it's their name that's showing on my screen. I don't know who might have a connection to that person and might try to bother them. So my customer's privacy is far most important to me, but as well mine. Make sure, for example, that when you're in a market area, and I don't even know why I'm wearing this headphone, to be honest, make sure that when you're in a market area, and let's say, for example, you're, I don't know, at home, that you're not actually showing that you're at home, because you could jeopardize yourself if somebody knows your street, if somebody knows your location. When I film my videos, you won't ever see me in my physical property. You won't see me ever on my physical street. You got to make sure that you prevent that from, it's a two-way privacy conversation. Alan is right at, where was it? I just saw it. Hide the address too. Alan is right. You have to hide your customer's address. If you also look on the map and you can see that the grid, they always do a pinpoint of where your customer is. If you can see the pinpoint and you can see the two cross streets right there, that's a problem. And make sure, and I've blocked this out before, if you can see the pinpoint and you're showing on the GoPro enough scenery of that person's location, they could have anybody show up at their doorstep. So, yes, I do. The only thing I show is that I drive a red Nissan Rogue. I will never show my license plate. Never, never, never show my license plate. And I try not to show things unique that are in my car. So, for example, if you have on your mirror, you have something hanging on your mirror, you won't see me show that to my audience. Or if I have, I don't know, a certain color car seat or something in my car, you won't see me show that to my audience. I've had people that have asked, and this is separate, but I've had people that have asked, would I want to put together a meet and greet? And I think that's a cute idea, but I am very cautious about anything that happens amongst my privacy, your privacy. So with this dynamic, you have to be super, super, super careful because anything can happen. And the one thing that scares me the most is if somebody can see a cross street of my customers and then they see me going up to the house. What if you record the house number? You never know what can happen. So always respect your own privacy and their privacy. When I have recorded some of my videos, even if I'm doing sit-down videos and I'm showing the map, I'm never showing them where I'm physically located at my house. It needs to be very, very important. If you can find out ways of editing out, like you see that I do in my videos, that is the number one thing. Again, it's not just the customers, it's yours. And which part about that, Zach? He says that's really smart. I've never thought about that. Which part? The fact of the scenery. Better to be safe and sorry. Cliche, but it's a great idea. Yes, because if you're planning on vlogging this content, I'm guessing you're going to put it on YouTube. And when you're putting it on YouTube, for me, I'm Dasher Dash in Canada. So I'm probably going to start to attract, by the way, my dominant source of viewers is still American versus Canadian, but I'm probably going to attract, yes, nothing of his, yes, in your car, yes, because of vandalism or anything. But I can imagine that I'm eventually going to start having more and more Canadians. I do have a lovely amount of people in my community. Hey, Rodrigo. No, this is not a premiere. It's a live. It's a live, sweetheart. I do have a lot of Montreal community folks in my on my channel. So it's much better to be safe than sorry. Alan says, I see posts on Facebook sometimes of drivers showing customers' name and address and that. Yes, it can get you deactivated, but as well, it's okay to vent about the fact that you didn't get a tip or you took non-tip orders or a customer's cheap or whatever it may be. But do you have to get a target on their back because of that? Nope. You should not put anybody at risk. There's already risks of sometimes like I have seen before, but I do feel that customers are putting themselves out there. And this is a whole nother topic, but I'll just top up about it. Sometimes gig workers, we do talk about the fact of reviews online, what they're saying about us and such. And we do kind of sometimes see their names exposed here and there. I think if a customer is intentionally posting it online for people to see, that's one thing. But their private information is shared on the app. And the reason why we got employed is because we passed a background check and we agreed to not expose their privacy. So if they're posting review online, it is at their disposal that their name might be shown. And I don't find that's criminal or wrong in any way. But if you do reverse psychology, they're on the app privately with us, trusting one independent person with their information. And if we leak it, it can be a whole disaster domino effect to happen. Yeah, yeah, exactly. What if your customer's on Facebook? And what if they turn around and, they're actually very unique local little setup that you're already aware of and they know who you are and you know who they are? It's even more. Rodrigo says, leaking that sort of data is a danger in pretty much all areas. Some are website flaws that allow public leaks like those. Really dangerous. Exactly. And it's my number one thing when it comes to being a gig worker. When you are vlogging this stuff, you need to keep your stuff safe and your customers. So because of these reasons, I have started blocking out even something as simple as my customer's name, just because I don't want my customer to get anything. Like, I do have an Instacart video that's going to be released on Sunday. I choose to try to keep a Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday upload, like Wednesday or Thursday, not both. And this customer is somebody that I have assisted before. And I will be showing the fact that there's a map that shows that this customer is the one that when I drove by, I'm used to it. But because I don't like how Instacart dots the location, I'm blocking that from people to see. Nobody could find this customer's location anyways from just that dot. But does that mean I want to take a risk? No. The cross streets are too far, so they don't show them. It's that zigzag and then it's the dot on the map. But I am not okay with that. So I'm even going to block that out as simple as a video. You never know the situation either. There might be an abusive situation and they are in hiding. That's a very good one, Brian. And they are trusting us with that information. I know it's different. For example, if, let's say, Zach was here. Yes, Zach, I love picking on you tonight. If Zach was here and me and him are doing a ride along together. Well, if me and him are doing a ride along together and we're both gig workers and such, I feel that we're both trusted with it. It's different. Some people do ride-alongs with, let's say, their best friend or whatnot. I'm not going to state my opinion towards any of that. But if the recording is happening on my phone and I'm the one that blocks it up in post and edit, I don't find that's too shabby. But, you just got to be cautious. And I think it's too much nowadays because I've heard so much about people getting hurt or incidents happening due to privacy concerns. So that's pretty much the last one that I have to top up on here. So we've covered the gear. We've covered the thing about being shy on camera. We've covered about capturing the footage when it comes to screen recordings. And we've even talked about customers' privacy. So we both had more background checks in 1 year than most people in 5. That is so true, Zach, because every single time you go for a different good gig work, I guess different company, we got to get a background check every time. Hell, I paid for a background check with Skip for $20. I mean, come on. Yes, we are fully loaded when it comes to background checks. So, with that being said, guys, I hope for anybody, and I know this is often about when it comes to things in the replay, for anybody watching this replay, I warned you in the beginning, skip through what you want to watch, but I don't think anybody just goes straight to the end, anyways, or probably watches the whole thing to the end. But I truly appreciate everybody coming out here tonight and watching. It has been a while since I've done a live stream. It feels comfortable. It feels like home. I love to be able to connect with you guys in my community. I hope to do more live streams soon based on relevant topics like this. But for now, I will let you lovelies go. Take back some of your time this evening, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Until next time.